Paul, I'm absolutely devastated. My BlackBerry is still not working.
Day 3
Research
and
in Motion has been apologizing to some people via SMS. I haven't received even one apology, not one.
So, I mean, now it's spread to North America. So now it's getting serious. You know, when it was people in the cheese-eating socialists in Europe that were offline, that didn't really matter. When it was people in Africa who were down, well, that really didn't matter. But now the North American market has been affected. What I can't quite understand is how can a global connectivity network operate, as they say, on a core switch failure? So, I mean, that sounds a bit strange that everybody's messages everywhere are going through that. Well, it's a bit of an antiquated design issue if everybody's message around the world has to go that way. So anyway, all the jokes have been going around about, you know, BlackBerries and how this is, you know, going to be bad for the business, and I think it will be. Research in Motion now is starting to take some pressure and conk in. But at the same time, there's been this YouTube clip about the guy on the bicycle being hit by the wildebeest. So the joke is that the BlackBerry server has in fact been taken out by Buck Norris, as they're calling the antelope, Buck Norris.
Thank you very much, Paul Theron, for that insightful interview. The exchanges of the BRICS emerging markets bloc have announced a joint initiative to expose investors to these dynamic economies. We now cross over to the JSE, where the CEO, Russell Loubser, is standing by with further details. Russell, great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us. Just looking at some of the events that have been occurring at the JSE today, obviously quite unprecedented moves and not surprising. Okay, unfortunately the line has dropped. Paul, Alliance of the exchanges. Let me ask you this: what do you think? BRICS aligning and ensuring that there is some kind of synergy between all the exchanges.
It's fabulous. Look, the global conference is down here. So we saw yesterday out of the US, they were interviewing the head of the Chicago exchange. He was down here. Clearly, there are issues affecting exchanges. We know that everybody is doing more volume because there's more derivative trading. People are more interested. The global financial system's getting more interconnected. So it's all good. There are issues. We know that technology platforms are a concern. And the other thing that's exciting about exchanges is that they are an important way of overcoming nation-state boundaries. And we would like to see the end of exchange control. Then South Africa would really be in business.
Russell is there. Thank you, Russell, for joining us. Great to have you on the program. Tell us in brief what this actually means for South Africa, for Brazil, for India, and for Russia. We have all the CEOs of the exchanges in South Africa and in Johannesburg, so quite exciting times.
Yes, this was something that was initiated by the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and discussed initially between the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and the JSE. I liked the idea, brought it home to my colleagues, and the idea was progressed between then amongst the remainder of the BRICS exchanges. So 7 exchanges in total, 2 from India, 2 from India, 2 from Russia, and then BMF Bovespa, the JSE, and Hong Kong. And what it boils down to is our benchmark indices of the respective exchanges, we are going to cross-list on each other. And that means you're making, in say the South African case, on our exchange we're going to have a Hong Kong benchmark index, and a Russian, a Brazilian, an Indian benchmark index available to our local investing public in Rand. So it's great.
Wow, okay, so looking at the market capitalization of the 7 exchanges combined, we're looking at around $9 trillion US dollars. Tell us about new products that could actually emerge from this exchange alliance that is occurring. What can we expect to come from this?
Well, it's unlimited really, but we're not going to count our chickens before they hatch, because other products other than options and futures on these benchmark indices, because that's what it boils down to. That's what is going to be available to the South African investing public. After this has been launched and we see that it works, and we're all going to give it our best shot to make sure that it works, and there's no reason why it should. As you know, we already list options on futures on numerous overseas foreign stocks. These are now options on futures on benchmark indices. So after this, which we loosely term phase 2, if this works nicely for all our mutual benefit, the range is unlimited really. It can be extended to the cross-listing of stocks. It can be extended to the cross-listing of futures and options on individual stocks. There could even be something like a BRICS index, which this initial phase is not. So it's unlimited really, depending on how this initial stage goes.
Hey Russell, it's Paul Theron here. Can't you get these things to settle in foreign currencies? Can't you arrange for the phasing out of exchange control within the next few months?
Paul, one thing at a time. We've got the permission after good discussions and lengthy discussions with National Treasury and the Exchange Control Department of the SARB to list these foreign products, but they have to be settled in rand. That's the next step, Paul. And I think we must believe in the bona fides of, we certainly do, of both National Treasury and the SARB, where they are constantly and continuously relaxing exchange controls. So don't be surprised if at some stage in the future what you wish for is what you get.
Russell, you mentioned earlier that once it's launched and once you see everything working, then you could take it from there and become quite innovative with regards to product offerings. Why wouldn't it work? What is the biggest challenge facing this alliance of exchanges right now?
Yeah, frankly, I can't think of anything or any reason why it shouldn't work, because like the point I made this afternoon, I don't think there's a single asset manager in South Africa who is not telling its clients not to diversify. And not just to diversify across sectors within South Africa, but to diversify across countries. Now, this is an ideal opportunity to get access. You can get access to this to options and futures on foreign indices directly if you want to, but that means you've got to go through an overseas broker. Yeah, we'll be offering it eventually on the JSE. It's denominated in rand to start off with, that's correct. If you wanted the foreign currency exposure, well, we've got a foreign currency futures market as well. So there's nothing that you can't get if you want that diversification on the JSE. And that's, so why wouldn't it work? Can't see any reason why it should not work.